Our project is underground parking development for sports stadiums. With the increasing population and the high popularity of Purdue sports on campus, traffic flow has similarly elevated and has caused parking availability to become more limited, especially during the game days. In order to reduce the limitation of parking and decrease the flow congestion of the traffic, particularly along State Street and Northwest Avenue, this report will explain how an underground parking garage is realistic, practical, and economical solution. To establish the number of parking spaces that we need to design, we took a survey for Boilermaker fans to know that whether they drive to the game and use the occupancy rate of the venue in the past few years for statistical analysis to provide a more reasonable forecast for the number of parking spaces determined in the future. And we figured out that there needs to be 3,293 parking space total, and our total budget is estimated to be $59.1 million. Consider the overall pros and cons with several other methods. Building an underground parking garage is the most effective solution.
The primary purpose in creating an estimation for system efficiency is to understand and know how well a system is performing. For the underground parking garage, this estimation will be based on two factors in order to reach what we deem as satisfactory results. The first is a game at either Ross-Ade or Mackey Arena must be filled 75% of maximum capacity. Second, 30% of attendees must arrive in a vehicle to the game or have wanted to take a vehicle to the game. As of 2019, the maximum capacity for Ross-Ade is about 58,000 people. Based off attendance results from the most previous football season, every home game surpassed 75% of Ross-Ade's capacity, deeming that it reaches our satisfactory criteria and promoting the idea that a parking garage would perform efficiently if built. As of 2019, the maximum capacity for Mackey Arena is about 15,000 people. Based off attendance results from the most previous basketball season, every home game surpassed 75% of Mackey's capacity, deeming that it reaches our satisfactory criteria and promoting the idea that a parking garage would perform efficiently if built. Lastly, based on the survey sent to Boilermaker fans, over 30% stated that they did drive or would have preferred to drive and park when attending a game. This satisfies the required criteria in proving that the construction of an underground parking garage will perform efficiently if built. In order to measure the effectiveness of the parking garage, it will be divided into two parts. First will be based off the future usage of the parking garage as opposed to current options. Based off the initial survey, 10% of users say they drive to games already. Furthermore, another 20% say that they would drive if it was a viable option. Thus, nearly triple the amount of people would drive to games if possible, making it more effective. Second would be based off a second survey that would be sent after the parking garage is built and in use. This survey would question the general attitude towards the parking garage and if they thought it was an improvement to the current parking options.
Now that we have a total number of parking spaces required at 3,300, we need to determine how many levels will be required. Now, starting space for how many parks will be on every floor is 600, as this is the current capacity of the car park. Although there will be less than this available in the underground car park due to the ramps between floors, the stairwells, and the elevators. The ramps between the floors have to cover 10.5 feet vertically and are typically at a slope of 1 in 10, which means they will be 105 foot long. There will be two of these, one going up and one going down, which is a total of 210 feet taken up by the ramps between floors. the ramps are estimated to be as wide as one parking lot is long. The elevators will be about 5 feet wide and the stairwells will be about 7 feet wide, and there'll be 2 of each of these as well, which gives a total length of 234 feet that used to be parking that now is no longer available. The typical width of a car park is 9 feet, so this 234 feet means that there'll be 26 parking lots no longer available, giving a final capacity per floor of 574 parking spaces. Therefore, for this parking building to fit the 3,300 required park estimate, there will need to be 6 levels.
After the specifications of the design were determined for the parking garage, a floor plan was created of the first floor of the parking garage using AutoCAD. To the left, you can see this floor in a top or bird's eye view. Parking spaces are indicated in orange, and the ramps, indicated in magenta and green to the sides, will allow for travel between levels, one allowing for drivers to travel downward, and the other allowing drivers to travel upward. To the far left, you can see a space where the elevator and stairwell will be located, where users can travel between levels without having to walk through the driveway of the floor. Yellow arrows indicate the intended directions for the movement of vehicles moving through the parking garage. And as per the specifications, there are approximately 574 parking spaces per level, giving a total of 3,293 parking spaces as per the design choice. The other levels will have the same basic layout as the first floor. However, there will be the exception of the entrance, which is located only on the first floor.
In order to estimate the budget, we divide it into 3 parts. The first is the cost of a material. As we find out that the average cost of the material is from $30 to $35 per square foot. By calculating the total area of the garage, we finally find out the expense of the material is $45.2 million. And the second part is equipment costs, including all plumbing, masonry, chemistry, and electrical service. We find that for plumbing, it costs $4.5 per square foot, and for electrical service, it costs $2 to $4 per square foot. So the total cost of the equipment is $10.5 million. The third part is the contractor cost. It takes 6% of the total budget. So overall, the total budget of this project is $59.1 million.
The pros of building an underground parking garage are the following. This is going to increase the number of available parking spaces near roadside. This will result in a decreased traffic density on Purdue University's campus on game day. The new parking garage will also give users a shorter travel time in walking from their vehicles to the stadium. The cons are: during the construction, there may be an increase in traffic, and this might affect Purdue students and faculty. Additionally, building an underground parking garage might have a negative impact on the surrounding environment. However, based on the environmentally friendly and set standards used to build this underground garage, the economic effect and impact upon the community would outweigh the minimal environmental consequences. The other considered options were the following. The first one was expanding an existing parking lot. This one showed to be more expensive and to use more space. The other option was an above-ground parking lot. This one showed to take all the space used for tailgating before and after the game. Last option was building more parking levels. This one showed to be less effective because people that used the parking lot took more time than they used before. Most effective solution for our problem to decrease the traffic density at Purdue University on game days and increase the number of parking spaces for Rose-Ade Stadium was an underground parking lot. This would give us the spaces we need for tailgating. This will have the lowest cost, and it's going to give us more space for parking. We selected the optimal number of levels to decrease the time that each person that parks in our garage needs to park their car and go to the stadium. Thank you.